You're watching the Movie Channel.
In the interview now, we find out more about the Joy Luck Club. We talk to director Wayne Wang and to screenwriter Amy Tan, who also wrote the best-selling novel on which the film is based.
I would say it's almost entirely autobiographical emotionally, and that some of the stories are actually based on things that happened to my family, but it's not really as autobiographical as some people think.
I want to understand my mother. I really try. But in so many ways, she's always been a stranger to me. I guess she always will be. My mother started the Joy Luck Club. For 30 years, these women feasted, forgot past wrongs, laughed, played, lost and won, and told the best stories.
No talking in Chinese. How do I know you're not cheating?
We are your auntie, and we are very honest people.
When I read the book was really emotional in a very visceral way for me. I mean, I can't even explain it. And also, as I looked at it, I felt that a lot of the stories, a lot of the China stories were very similar to stories that I heard when I grew up, you know, from my parents and my parents' friends and relatives.
My mother had once told me this strange story, what happened to her in China. She said she was going to Chongqing to meet the man who was her husband. That was the first time I ever heard she was married before my father. She barely had time to grab her babies, twin girls. That was the first time I heard she had other babies. I always try to picture in my mind what really happened, but she would never explain. She would only say by the time she reached Chongqing, she had lost everything. And I said, wait, what do you mean everything? What happened to those babies? There were so many things about my mother I never understood. This is the only one I never forgave.
The stories of the daughters were, in a lot of ways, similar to my own stories in different ways. I mean, being baby boomers, born after the war, not having gone through the big tragedies that their parents have gone through, and had a very comfortable life and very Western, very contemporary. So there were a lot of things I identified with that.
I'm not going to play anymore. Why should I?
What did you say?
I'm not your slave. This isn't China. You can't make me. No. No, I won't. No. No. You want me to be someone I'm not. I'll never be the kind of daughter that you want me to
Only
be.
two kinds of daughter. Obedient or follow own mind. Only one kind of daughter could live in this house. Obedient kind.
And I wish I wasn't your daughter. I wish you weren't my mom.
Too late to change this.
Although it's specifically Chinese, I think a lot of the so-called, you know, emotions and a lot of the miscommunication between mothers and daughters, you know, are very universal. I mean, it's not only just mother and daughters of women, it's also father and son.
All 8 of those women, and more, there were so many who played other roles in that movie, had personal reasons why they wanted to be in that movie, in which they identified with the emotions of the story.
Mrs. Jordan, you sound as if Ted and I are getting married. That's hardly the case.
Oh, I know, dear. It's just that, well, the way the world is, how unpopular Vietnam was.
I'm not Vietnamese. I'm American.
Of course you are. It's just, I understand you. That's all I'm trying to say. Do you understand?
Mom.
Hello, darling. We're having a wonderful visit.
You know, I always knew you were a jerk. But this is the first time in my life I am ashamed of you.
How dare you use that language? I think you better apologize right now.
I'm sorry, Mom. You made a out of yourself in front of the woman I love. we're out of here.
Wayne is, number one, a good heart. He is somebody intuitively that I knew had the sensitivity to turn this into something that was true to the heart of the book. I didn't expect him to remain faithful to every single line in the book or character or all the stories, but I knew that he understood the stories without my having to explain what they meant.
This cannot be. This not knowing what you're worth. This not begin with you. My mother, not to know her worth until too late. Too late for her, but not for me. Now, we will see. If not too late for you.
You're watching the Movie Channel.
Here are the latest headlines from Sky News.
John Majors announced a £12 million aid package for Bosnia and called on other countries to send more troops to help reinforce the fragile peace. Two of South Africa's most senior policemen have been suspended after an independent inquiry produced evidence that they've been smuggling arms to Zulu fighters since 1990, and Scotland Yard has launched the first National Missing Persons Bureau.
Sky News. On the hour, every hour.
Newton Davis built the house of his dreams.
Will you marry me?
For the girl of his dreams.
No.
But that's where the fairy tale ended.
What are you doing here?
What am I doing? What are you doing here?
Goldie Hawn.
I'm Gwen. I'm his wife.
I'm his father.
Steve Martin.
You told him you were my wife?
In a marriage of inconvenience.
I want this marriage to work.
What? House Sitter. Premieres Sunday at 8 on the Movie Channel.